Okay, so a lot of people are willing to believe literally anything as long as it's on the internet. It's almost as if it's an official court document, right? So right now on Twitter, almost everyone is claiming that you can get a refund for Stellar Blade as long as you say it's due to false advertisement. Because they showed trailers in which you saw the costume of the character, but when you actually get the game, the costume isn't there, so you can ask for a refund. Now the thing is, I traced this rumor on the Asmongold Reddit, and as I'm reading here, it says, "Hey, thank you for contacting PlayStation Support. We have reviewed your case and approved the refund. The funds are returned to your original method of payment, and if it's not possible, it goes into your PSN wallet. Please note that refund timing depends on your original payment method. You can read more about our cancellation policy here." Where does it mention anything about Stellar Blade? Where does it mention the date? There's no mention of anything here. Like this could just be a person that purchased the game that's not released yet and then refunded it and got this message. Like why do people automatically assume that this is the case with Stellar Blade? And not to mention, I asked someone else to try and verify it, and they said that no, like PlayStation didn't give them a refund. I do not know, like, is it just because it's on the internet and you heard about it that it's true? Now, don't get me wrong, it may be true. Like, it may legitimately be true, but this is not enough to convince me. And I definitely looked for anyone that can prove to me that they got the refund for Stellar Blade and they didn't. The reason that this would be an interesting thing is that PlayStation is very, very stingy when it comes to refunds. Like, they rarely allow it. Usually, if the game is legitimately broken, I think like the last game that they allowed refunds for was Cyberpunk. But they're not like Steam. No, the moment you install the game on your PlayStation, it's like a contract etched in blood. Very rarely does Sony allow you to get a refund. And not to mention, people say it's false advertising, but from what I got to see, and again, like, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the advertisement for Stellar Blade said that the subject is about to change because this game is still in development. Again, if I'm wrong, then I'm willing to change my mind on it. But I also want to mention that there's a lot of people, especially on Twitter, that are part of the conversation, and they're like, "Oh my god, like, are people refunding for this? It's just a costume? Like, just because a costume you're willing to refund?" Most of those are the same people that hated the game. Like when Stellar Blade was first announced, they literally hated it and they said it's a Coomer game, and now all of a sudden it's like, "Oh no, we love the game so much, how dare you refund it?" This is like this very bizarre way of thinking, right? Like, one day you like the game, the next day you hate it, vice versa. But to answer the question, yes, like, why the fuck do you care? Is it your money? Did you work for that? Like did you slave to make the 85.47 US dollar? No, then shut the fuck up. Why is it your business why other people are refunding the game? This idea of moral purchasing that appeared all of a sudden, the conscientious consumer with other people's money, is bewildering for me. Like, people can buy a game if they want to. They can choose not to buy a game if they don't want to. They can refund it if they want to. I mean, I know people that are refunding house appliances just because they don't have the correct color. "Oh, I ordered the refrigerator that looks silver and you brought me one that looks black. Please give me my money back." Like, that is a legit reason to ask for a refund. And no one is like, "Oh my god, did you see what my neighbor did? Oh, they got the refrigerator and they didn't like the color." And, it's like, you're the bizarre person in that situation, given that it's not your money, you're not part of the actual contract between the provider and the person buying the goods, so why the fuck do you care? It's so fucking bizarre, If it legitimately bothers you, alright, like, you're a huge fan of Stellar Blade, you can't sleep at night without thinking about Stellar Blade, and you're this massive fan, so you really get upset because people are refunding it, buy another fucking copy then. Buy another fucking gun. Go buy the figurine, you know? Go play DK and purchase something from their store. If you're literally that interested in Stellar Blade. Did you notice this? My God, you know, I've been a gamer for decades. It was never like this. Like, it was never like other people being interested in what you do with your money. Like, what games do you buy? Did you buy this game? Why not? Are you a racist? How dare you not buy this game? Don't you know that it's DI and it's got Sweet Baby in it? You need to buy the game. Oh, you bought that game? Don't you know it has tits in it? Like, what are you, some sort of misogynist? Oh, you refunded this game? Shut the fuck up, man. Just shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Like, I personally understand why people are upset at Shift Up. Don't get me wrong. A company should never lie to its customers under any circumstance. Because people saw it a mile away. People saw that Shift Up is putting their game on Sony, and they were like, there is no way that Sony would allow this. If it was a male character, butt naked, it would have been fine. If it was a game made in the pits of California, with those grotesque, ugly Western female characters, it would be fine. But you're an Asian game, and you're showing cleavage. Absolutely not, right? And the CEO of the company went, well, actually, you know, we're not going to censor it. It's going to be uncensored. Turns out they censored the gore, and they censored some costumes, and people are upset. Rightfully so. You shouldn't lie to the customer. I do not have anything against people who want to take a moral stand and, you know, they want to wait for the game to come out for PC or whatever. I do want to point out, though, that compared to other AAAs, like Shift Up is a company that makes phone games. Like, this is it. This is what they made up until now. They made phone games. And the release of Stellar Blade went flawless. It actually works on day one, you know, compared to many other AAA titles. Though this one works on day one, doesn't have game-breaking bugs. The gameplay is nice. Yeah, really smooth release. I like the gameplay, I like the soundtrack, I like most of the stuff, so I'm not going to complain. I do like that people are disabling their PlayStation Network account in order to protest, because they're protesting Sony. The last thing that I would want is for people to say, oh, see, Stellar Blade didn't sell because it's got boobies in it, and yeah, I mean, those games just don't sell anymore. I don't want them to have that argument. But at the end of the day, what I want and what other people do with their money are two different things. If people want to buy the game, that's fine. If people don't want to buy the game, that's fine. It's their cash. It's their money. And again, it's so interesting that people who don't play the game are so invested in it, right? Again, I said in a previous video, I don't play FIFA. So if I don't play FIFA, I genuinely don't care. If someone goes around, oh, the new FIFA has got so many loot boxes, I'm like, not even part of that conversation, because it's not the game that I care. So why would I inject myself when I genuinely, literally don't care? But you got these other people that when the game comes out, they're like, oh my goodness, oh, it's a pretty female character in a game, horrible, oh, how dare they? And when they censor, they're like, oh, but why do you care? Why do you care? It's like, we notice what you're doing. By the way, speaking of the comparisons with Baldur's Gate 3, like, again, Baldur's Gate 3 has actual sex scenes in it, people are aware. Can you imagine if Stellar Blade actually had the sex scene in it? Like, if I was a trillionaire, like Elon Musk, and I just wanted to make a video game to shitpost, I would have done the Stellar Blade, and you know, like, that scene in The Last of Us 2, where Abby just gets turned around, suddenly bent over, and the guy starts porking her? The one that looks like Neil Druckmann? I would do, like, literally frame-by-frame animation after The Last of Us 2, just to see what the journalists say. Like, literally, the exact same scene, the exact same thing, frame by frame, just copy, paste it, put it in the game, just to see how they would implode. And then you would see that there is actual racism when it comes with Sony, which allegedly should be a Japanese company, but they just despise anime video games for some reason. Like, anything that's made in Asia, they just dislike it now. It's a company that's Japanese in name only, I guess. And that would show it, right? Because, like, again, in The Last of Us 2, the journalists consider that to be, like, the best scene ever made. So romantical. Gaming finally matured. But when it's an anime video game, oh, you show a little bit of cleavage? Oh, Dios mío. They pearl clutch so hard that they almost castrate themselves. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.